Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different twists and turns, as well as surprises in this film by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about this film that a lot of people are really excited to see is exactly how JJ is going to utilize all the different revelations and the surprises in this movie that is in fact going to change how we view not just some of the sequel trilogy movies, but also the entire Skywalker saga, which honestly, in my opinion, may be a good or a bad thing depending on how it's written and how it's executed on the big screen. Now, what's really intriguing is that we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to be exploring new elements of the Force, the Netherworld, and a whole lot of other things that will be implemented into this movie that will have saga-wide implications. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, as well as one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very exciting, involving Luke, Kylo Ren, and Rey. Now, specifically, it's described that Mark Hamill shot a sequence with both Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver, in which it's described that Hamill was standing on a tall platform in front of a 40-foot high green screen that was used over in Cardington. It's described to be around Mark Hamill, Ridley, and Driver and a 360-degree green screen, where it's described that what will be keyed in during post-production will offer fans a first glimpse on the netherworld of the Force. It's described that this takes place after Kylo and Rey's lightsaber duel, and that the sequence took a whole 1 week to film, with some rehearsals as well beforehand. It's described that many voices of popular characters will be used in the background of this sequence, and that it will change how fans view the Force and the concept of how Force ghosts are used. Additionally, it's said that Hamill as Luke was shouting out dialogue to Adam and Daisy and giving a lecture on the origins of the galaxy and the Force. It's said that many stories from Legends played a role in the sequence that takes place in the third act of the film. So I want to go over a couple of parts about all of this and as to why this is really going to be a big deal in the Star Wars sequel trilogy itself and the entire Skywalker saga, and not even just that, the entire franchise and how fans view and understand the concept of the Force, the Netherworld, and a whole lot more. So this particular sequence, this is of course the Force ghost of Luke Skywalker within the third act of the movie, taking place after the lightsaber duel between both Kylo Ren and Rey, and most likely after the duel between both Kylo Ren and Rey and the new villain in this story, whoever he's actually going to truly be in this movie. Now, one thing that we do know about in the film is that they are doing incredible things for the character of Luke Skywalker that really is going to make him the most powerful Force ghost that there is in Star Wars history and in Star Wars lore, which honestly does speak volumes for me as a fan, because it tells me that they are really trying to do something, you know, with the character of Luke as much as possible in order to really fulfill the character of Luke Skywalker and even the Skywalker bloodline itself. So the sequence that was shot during the month of January over at Cardington, we have Mark Hamill standing on a large platform with a 360-degree green screen around him, as well as Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver, and that the CGI that is going to be keyed into the green screens are actually going to show us our very first look at what the netherworld of the Force really looks like. And this is really going to give us a different perspective on when we see the Force ghosts appearing and disappearing in the Skywalker saga, such as Yoda, such as Obi-Wan, and even Anakin Skywalker. You know, we always have wondered what it's like inside the netherworld of the Force. You know, what is it like for the Force ghosts when they vanish? Where are they really? And that's going to be explored in The Rise of Skywalker. And we can see that they touched on this in a similar way in, of course, the Darth Vader comics, where Darth Vader enters the spiritual realm, where he sees a lot of moments of the past and different voices and different events that occurred in the past and the future. So this really does speak volumes to me. It tells us that JJ is really trying to explore a lot of different aspects of the Star Wars universe in one big movie, and this movie is a big movie. Is it going to be the longest Star Wars film in history? I sure hope so. You know, as of right now, JJ is already up to the 90-minute mark, and that really tells us that this movie's getting longer and longer with each and every month that they are editing this movie. Now, when I say 90-minute mark, it doesn't necessarily mean that the movie's only going to be 90 minutes. From all the clips that they are adding in together right now, that's where they sit as of right now, for now. And each and every month that passes by, it's only going to get longer and longer. So the fact that they're only like, what, 2 months into post-production, give or take, they're already up to 90 minutes. That tells us that this movie has the potential of being 3 hours long, kind of like Avengers Infinity War Part 2, also known as Endgame. So with that being said, the other thing that I do want to touch on is that this is a sequence in which Mark Hamill is shouting out dialogue as Luke Skywalker and giving a lecture to both Kylo Ren and Rey. And this really does make one wonder, is this after the Ben-demption arc, the Kylo Ren redemption arc, or is this Luke's way of turning Kylo Ren back to the light side of the Force? Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.